I'm Tom with the Vending Business Show, here again with Larry Towner, who is a vending business consultant, and today we're talking about vending business cycles in the average vending business over a year annual basis. So thanks for being here, Larry. How do we get started with this?
Well, Tom, one of the things that we deal with when we're dealing with a business cycle is it has a little bit to do with human nature and what people's cycles are throughout the year. So I'm going to ask you some questions too, because after all, the last time I checked, you were a human being. I always start with spring because spring is the time of renewal and things like that. It's when it's exciting. For you in the springtime, do you look forward to spring? I mean, is spring a time that you enjoy as a general rule?
Absolutely. Oh yeah, it's a great time because it's right after a cold winter.
A long, cold, and dismal winter. So we're going to talk about wintertime last. Let's start with spring. But again, it gets back to human nature. People tend to cycle. They go through, yearly cycles. They go through monthly cycles. There's a lot of things that affect how people do business, what they purchase, and when. It's simple things like life events, job changes, things like the weather. The weather has a huge amount to do with the vending business, whether you believe it or not, but we'll go into some of those specifics. So one of the things and I'm going to break this out into two areas too, because Tom, do you agree with this, that there's two different business cycles in the vending business? There is the account sales portion of the vending business, which is when you're selling to actually go achieve accounts, and then there's the retail sales portion of it, or the actual sales of product and service out there. Does that sound about right to you?
Yeah, I can see that.
Yep. So I'm going to address, when we address these issues, we'll address the retail side of it first, and then I'll talk a little bit about the account sales side of it. And some of these things are cyclical, and or most of these things have a cycle anyway through them. So let's start off with spring. Springtime is generally the time of growth and renewal, I like to call it. It's when your business starts to pick up, and you start seeing sales that, more sales than you do in the wintertime. I'll get to winter, towards the end, but you start to see things picking up. And it picks up in the vending business. Now, I did most of my operations, I did in the South, although I did work in Boston, the greater Boston area, for a number of years. And these cycles work pretty much the same, even North and South. They're somewhat more geared towards the South, but they still work for the North. And that is, springtime is sales time. You're going to sell a lot of product both in the spring and the fall for two reasons. It's usually cool in the morning and it's warm in the afternoon. And in the vending business, being cool in the afternoon and warm in the morning is fantastic, because what that does for you is that allows you to sell a pastry or a candy bar or some type of food item in the morning, and then it allows you to sell a drink or something, in the refreshment line in the afternoon.
Hey, Larry, I think I lost your video there.
Yeah, I've got a battery issue up. Are you there now?
I see you now, yeah.
Restart it?
Oh, well, just start in on the part where you were talking about the opportunities for the spring because of the morning and the afternoon situation there. I think that's kind of where it started.
All right, hang on for a minute. Let me get my battery up. Get my phone charged up here, or in the charge loop, and we'll I didn't think I'd kill the battery this fast. The wonders of modern technology.
Yes, of course.
Of course.
We are addicted.
Yes, we are. Well, not really. I'm using it as tools right now. I'm trying to anyway. Oops. If I get the charger off, there it goes. Jeez, I'm having big difficulties here. Hang on for 1 minute. Sorry about this.
Oh, no problem. Easy to edit this out.
Yeah, at least it's a natural stop. Let's see if I can't get this to do what I want it to do. Okay. Charging. Hang on. Lost my signal. You there still?
Yeah, I'm here.
It's not charging. Why is that not charging? It pissed me off. Never fails. Never fails. There, now it is. I heard it blink.
Yeah, don't start asking me to look for a blink.
No, I'm just. All right. All right. Do you have me now?
Yep.
Okay, let me get myself positioned here.
Now you're gonna wear those glasses now?
Oh, yeah, right. No, not glasses. How's that?
Yeah, since that's how we got started the first half of this video.
Oh, glasses. Yeah. Okay. So where are we at? Where was I? Where do I want to start again?
I think where you were talking about the springtime opportunities for sales because of the weather.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So when we're talking about springtime, springtime is the time to sell product. In the springtime, we tend to have an increase in product sales, largely because of the weather. It's cold in the morning, it's warm in the afternoon. That lends a great amount of credence to selling snacks in the morning and selling cold drinks in the afternoon. And then, of course, coffee, if you sell coffee, that sells always usually when it's cold, but good coffee drinkers drink coffee all the time, so we'll leave that one out. But that's what springtime does for you. Now, so spring is time to sell, and people, their money's loosening up a little bit, and they're looking forward to warm weather, and it tends to give them a very positive attitude, which in turn helps with your sales. It's going to help people feel better about themselves, and that will lend to your sales on a retail basis. Now, on the account sales side, springtime is kind of a tough time to sell. You need to be doing your calls in the spring, but the calls that you do in the spring are going to be geared till a little later on in the year. One thing I always mention about sales calls in the spring is the time when you start to see some problems with machines, particularly the refrigeration side of the business, because as the machines are coming out of winter, the machines aren't cycling on an awful lot. And so what happens is when the weather starts to warm up a little bit, the refrigeration units start to kick on and off, and that's usually the time that you'll start seeing some problems with equipment, refrigeration equipment, largely drink machines, start to have failures in the springtime, particularly as there's big changes in humidity. And that'll cause, what that spurs is, that gives you an opportunity to go in and sell from an account standpoint. Because if the existing vendor isn't out there making his service calls and isn't aware that the springtime is going to create service problems, he's going to have a bunch of service calls saying the drinks are hot, this and that. Anytime you have service calls, it's a good time to go selling accounts. That's the time when you want to sell accounts. Summertime, we'll go into summertime. Retail sales in summertime, your whole product line shifts from snacks over to drinks, because when it's, as we like to say, it's 80 to 100 degrees out, people aren't really hungry. They want cold drinks, and you'd even be surprised they're going to drink more. As the temperature increases, they drink more and more of the non-carbonated kind of drinks. They're going to drink sports drinks, water, things like that, non-carbonated stuff. Nobody wants a lot of sugar when it's really, really hot. There's always exceptions to these rules, but as a general rule, this is what you're going to see from a realistic standpoint. Fall time, account sales, summertime account sales, really tough, and this goes for the retail side too. People take a lot of vacations in the summertime, so what you see is your workforce gets diluted a little bit. If you're in the traditional vending account where you're based you're within somebody's business, a lot of people on vacation means your numbers are down, so your sales fall a little bit. But getting to account managers in the summertime is difficult. They're on vacation. They're not really, their mind isn't really on vending per se. It's more on production and on getting their business up and running than it is on changing out the vending company. Again, service calls, if they have service calls, it's a perfect time to go sell. If they have any issues or they have recurring issues in particular, good time to go sell. So you got to make your calls. but your chances of success are less so than they are at other times of the year. Fall time from a
All right, hey
retail.
Larry, let me
Yep.
can I interrupt right here? I think that's about all the time we have for this show. Can we pick up with fall and go into winter in the next one?
We certainly can.
Okay, great. You've been watching the Vending Business Show, a production of A&M Equipment Sales.